Hey YouTube, it has been a hot minute since I've been on this channel, but while I was gone I was doing one of my favorite things, and that's playing Fortnite. I love the game since it came out, and I really just want to take this video to talk about the seasons and why I like them, and there's definitely a couple stinkers on here that I'm just gonna, we'll talk about that later. No, but seriously, I just wanted to do a more laid back video to come back to and let you guys know what's going on. I'm back though, and I'm ready to make some content. So number one, we got, of course, the OG season. Now, I didn't really play the season that much. I hopped on maybe once or twice, but it was a new game. No one really knew what they were doing. No one was really building. It didn't even feel like a core mechanic at the time. You didn't even know building was really meant to be what it is today. And I don't even know if the developers intended it to be that way. But I don't feel comfortable really putting it otherwise than just cool. Because that's how I felt when I went into it. It's like C tier. I went in, it was okay. I was like, okay, this is interesting. The guns look odd and everything like that. And I just kind of brushed it off. And in this season, I just did not play. I just completely forgot about the game. I put it on the back burner. Season 2 just never crossed my mind. I didn't even know there was a seasons. I didn't know. Battle passes were new then, so I didn't even know there was a battle pass at the time. I think I might have hopped in once or twice with a couple buddies, but I still just thought it was in that prior season. So again, I just gotta put this in cool because I felt the exact same way. Now, season 3 is a different story. That's when I started to actually play the game. I had a squad. We would all hop on maybe once, twice a week, and we'd hop on, clap some default dancing cheeks, and then we get off for the night. We kind of brushed it off again though. It wasn't like our main game. At the time, I think we were still playing like Black Ops 3. I was a big Zombies fan. Still a big Zombies fan. Feature tier lists, you know what I mean? But yeah, we definitely play it though weekly. And I'd have to say it was a really good season. The graphics were very cartoony, very cool. You don't see stuff like that. You'd have John Wicks running around, which, at the time, that was what their John Wick was, even though it was kind of like bootleg. And yeah, it just felt welcoming. The community felt very welcoming. The season was fun. And the game just overall felt pretty refreshing. Okay, so next up on the list, Season 4. I slept on this season. We had a lot of fun in Chapter 3. This season rolled around, and I was like, this is stupid. I don't know why I felt like that, but Season 4 was just, it didn't hit me like it hit other people. I don't really care for the superhero aesthetic unless it's like Marvel, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it didn't hit with me. I didn't like it that much. Now, Season 5. That was the first season that ever hit home for me. I was sick at the time. I think I was off for school for a couple weeks, and I just hopped on. I landed at Paradise Palms, and ever since then the game's been connected. It took me like 2 months to get my Victory Royale by myself because my friends had quit. They moved on to better things. But I got addicted. It took me a long time, but I did get that first one, and just ever since then it's been a rush of dopamine. The season was amazing to me. It probably had the best starter skin, which is Drift, and he had some great progression. The skin just got better and better, and then it really complemented the blue tier 100 skin, Ragnarok I think was his name, and just those two together just were a great set. And other than that, the season had rifts, which were new, and you could just travel across the map super easily. Transportation in the season was really good. You have golf carts, you had shopping carts, and it felt like you were never just trapped in the storm to me. And I think this was also the first season that introduced the Battle Pass stars, which you could find on loading screens. You go get those, and it gives you a free Battle Pass. It's a really neat mechanic, and it's basically them just giving you tiers for free. Which nowadays I feel like seasons are a lot easier to complete. I mean, hell, people get to like level 300 in 2 weeks, but whatever. I'm not a Redditor. I'm not stroking my neck beard to get the season finished. But anyway, Season 5 to me, godly. It's when I started. I will still love it to this day. And now we can move on to the season after. Season 6. Now, Season 6 for me was an odd case. I love Halloween, and it's really the only Halloween-y season that we've had. Not in the sense that it wasn't good, it's just the Halloween vibe felt overshadowed by all the Kevin the Cube stuff, which admittedly was pretty cool and pretty spooky in itself because you had the floating island. Transportation again in this season was really good with the floating island. It felt like a central hub where you could just hop around the map. But overall, I just felt like the season was kind of filler, because that's where you got the battle pass filler like pets, which I despise. I never thought they were that good. They were cute, but they weren't that good. Other than that though, I just didn't really like this season. I thought the aesthetic was really cool. Other than that though, I thought it was just pretty meh. It was still fun. It was still peak Fortnite, but overall I just felt like there was a lot to be desired. I'm not really going to talk about the live events unless it really just impacted me, because I feel like a lot of people take the live events and they kind of make the season thrive or die based off those live events, and I don't think that's fair. I'm just talking about the gameplay and the fun of the season itself. But let's just move on to season 7. I love this season. It has to be one of the most broken seasons of all time, which I love snow in games. If anyone puts snow in a game, I'm probably gonna buy it. I'm sorry, I'm just a sucker for snow. But anyway, this season was great. The intro, I remember waking up, it was so cozy with the crack shot intro. It was like stop motion-y. It was so awesome. And the sword, oh my god, the sword. If anyone played Fortnite, they know it was a rush to that sword and you would just kill everyone. It was almost an instant win, and if you lost that sword, that was probably the hardest you've ever hit your leg, dude. That's the hardest you've ever gamer raged. But yeah, it was such a good season. It introduced airplanes. It had some great skins in the battle pass. I mean, most are forgettable, but I love the Lynx, obviously, was really great. And then Zenith. Oh, I love Zenith, dude. Overall, it's a really great season, though. So I'm going to give this one an amazing. And then we got season 8. Now, while this season isn't as good as season 7 to me, I still think it holds up to this day. The battle pass was given out for free. The map took a lot of changes. It added the pirate aesthetic, which I thought was super fun and super refreshing. The volcano was sick. And I'm pretty sure this season introduced new animations for healing, which the game desperately needed because it was so awkward, the old animations. I mean, those things were... They looked very beta-like. But this season did a lot right. The skins I felt were amazing except for the tier 100. The tier 100 fell flat for me. It felt like they took the tier 1 skin and just put it at the end of the battle pass and gave it like 2 styles and called it a day. There's been way better skins, and I didn't care for her. But now as time moved on, I feel like she's gotten a lot better because a lot of people start to like the more sweaty type skins, and she definitely has that vibe. And if she came out of the item shop, she would have been a hit. But I just feel like being in that tier 100 spot, she had a lot riding on her. But overall, the season was great. The aesthetic was awesome. The ballers, I think, were in this season. And if they were sick nasty. I love the ballers. I hope another season like this happens again with a piratey aesthetic. To me, just did this game favors. But anyway, yeah, this was a really good season. I'm going to give it also amazing, but I'm going to put this in front of it and this right here. There we go. Because again, I did play a lot of season 3, but I feel like season 8 was better just because of me personally. I played more of season 8. But that leads us to our next season, season 9. I don't have much to say about the season. I just didn't like it at all. The skins in the battle pass were mid. They weren't that great. There was a couple good ones in there, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like the Jones plus Peely, especially seeing how Peely is so oversaturated today, I just didn't care for it. The Tilted Towers update was bad. I didn't like the futuristic vibe. I feel like futuristic is like my least favorite vibe in this game. And that's just because I feel like there's just so much more they could do creativity-wise. I feel like when you do futuristic, you're at that point where it's kind of like, let's just make things over the top because we're out of ideas. Like, let's make this tower have neon lights because, well, it'll stick out, right? Kids like neon lights. They've got those little strips on their ceiling. They like neon. But the gameplay was still fun. I think they removed the pump shotgun when the season first came out, and everyone hated that. I think that's one of the first times they've ever done that. And there was a couple good guns that were introduced in this season, but other than that, I just don't really remember much about it because it just was kind of mid. I'm going to say it's more meh, because it was still the old map. It was still fun. It was just meh. Alright, moving on. I'm not gonna say much. The skins were awesome, but the mechs, may they rot in hell. Okay, so now that that's over with, Chapter 2. I thought the season was cool. It was cool. New map. Skins were kind of lackluster. I liked the double-sided ego thing they had going on. But the fishing was cool. Everything was cool, but it was just kind of that. It felt like the old Fortnite again. It felt very bare bones. The intro to the season was amazing when you jump out of that battle bus and you have the song blaring. It was bumping. You were feeling it. The aesthetic was right. And then the rest of the season lasted for like 3,000 days, and then you're like, okay, I'm bored. But I felt like with a new map, they should have just done a lot more with it. It felt very lackluster and very bare bones, which was a season issue going forward through all of Chapter 2, I felt like the map just could have done with a lot more change. And that's why when we get further on, you'll see that most of the seasons I like more had more changes with them, except for 2, which you'll see why in a minute. But yeah, I'd say Chapter 2, it's mid, but it's good. Chapter 2, Season 1, it was cool. It was alright. This season, oh my god, everyone like hypes this season up. I don't think it's godly. I just think it's amazing. The spy vibe of this season was very cool. Like, don't get me wrong about that. Seeing all the character intros whenever you went to the Battle Pass screen, stuff like that. Plus, Deadpool's in this chapter. Don't get me wrong, I love Deadpool. He's probably the best part of the season. But seeing all these characters, all of their like personalities come out, I thought that was super sick. And I wish they would do it again, but I doubt they are, just because that probably took a lot of work. And considering how much time we spent in Chapter 2, Season 1, they probably had a lot more time to work on Season 2. But that being said, the season was still fun. I mean, the agencies were really cool. Midas, I feel, is overrated, though. The map saw some pretty cool changes. Like the oil rig at the corner map, which I dropped at pretty much the whole time that it was there. But you had the skins that were amazing, and you could pick one side or the other. Sky was in this season, which I love her to death. She's one of my mains. I run her all the time. And the season was just fun. It felt nice. The henchmen were a nice addition, although I felt like the henchmen and like the IO got overplayed. I feel like them being all over the map is really annoying, and it just takes away from fights and build battles because it's like a constant third party. But overall, I thought the season had some great ideas. All right. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. This season was fun. Yeah, I can't put it this guy. I can't put it near this. This season was fun. It had some cool skins. I just hated it. The flooding was super annoying to me. It just ruined half the map. So half the season for me, I just did not play. I don't think I finished this battle pass either, even though I spent the money on it and I was a kid, so I didn't have that much money. I don't even think I finished the battle pass. Aquaman was mid. Meh. I don't like Aquaman. Never have liked Aquaman. They also introduced Coral Castle in the season, which was a tragedy. No one ever landed there. It was a disaster. And I just want to like push this season away and just not really talk about it. I do love Jules though. She's sick, and you know, kids love the Jules, you know what I mean? All right, we got the Marvel season. It was cool. It was cool. I mean, there's not much to say. A bunch of the original POIs got like transformed into the different Marvel locations. Like we had Stark's Industry, and it was a cool landing spot. Doctor Doom took over Pleasant Park. It was cool. You could fight these guys. You could fight Iron Man. You could fight Doctor Doom. You could fight everyone. It was cool. But again, it's just Marvel. It was just a Marvel season. It was fun, and they also did pay respects to Black Panther, who passed away when it was out. It was okay. I liked it. It was an alright season. But there's not much to say. It was Marvel-y. If you like Marvel, you're going to like the season. If you didn't like Marvel, you're not going to like the season. Alright, moving on from that. We have the collab season, and I thought it was meh. The skins that came out this season in the item shop, God tier. Like, genuinely God tier. But I can't base the season based off what comes in the item shop. I hated the sand. And I hated the Coliseum in the middle of the map. I didn't like either of those things. They just did not hit with me. I felt like the weird pink trees they had all around just looked weird. And maybe it's because I was on last gen at the time, and I think new gen was out at this time, but everything just felt like really pasty, like choppy. It didn't look polished. The pancake barn was pretty cool. But other than that, there just wasn't that many POIs that were added that were interesting to me. And I just felt like overall the season could have used a bit more polish. I just didn't connect. Mandalorian was really cool. I'm happy they added him, and I still rock that skin pretty consistently. But other than that, the season just did not hit with me. I don't think I played it that much. Mando's Bounty was a really cool thing that came out during it, but again, I'm just basing it off the season, like solo, duos, and squads mainly. And I just didn't play it that much. I did beat the battle pass just to get Mando, but other than that, I didn't like the season that much. And then we get to season 6. This one I'm conflicted on. I played it quite a bit, and I love the beginning event, but again, I'm not trying to rate things off events. If I give it to season 5, I have to give it to season 6 as well. I didn't play this season at all. I felt like the dinosaurs and all the primal and all the crafting was just too much for this game. The game was fun when it was simple, and you'll see what I mean when I get to season 7. It just felt too overwhelming. Because you had all the bosses you had to fight, you had to take the sky balls, I don't know what they were, but you had to take them, and you had to take them all the way to the center of the map. You had to plug them into that thing to get like overpowered stuff. I don't even know, I didn't play it that much, but I did beat the battle pass because Jones was pretty cool. The Aladdin looking character was pretty cool. But yeah, the season was fun. It was fine. It's just the crafting and all the primal gear just felt really bad. The bows were really cool. I wish they'd put the bows back, but make them more like standard bows and not like primal, whatever the aesthetic was. But yeah, this season just fell flat. It just felt too much for such a simple game. And that's why this season to me, season 7, baby, let's go. This is the best season of all time. Like, I'm sorry, it's the best season of all time. And I'm not saying that because Rick Sanchez is in it. I don't care for Rick and Morty that much. But this season brought back my love for this game. During these 2 seasons, I was pretty much done with the game. Like, I was like, okay, if next season's not good, I'm done. And it delivered. It was one of the best seasons I think I've ever played. Well, it is the best season I think I've ever played. But this one still stays in front just because, well, I mean, it's when I started. It had drift. It's a good season. But anyway, back to season 7. It was fun. It was amazing. The aliens were super sick. I loved the aesthetic of the aliens taking over. The parasites, which were like a risk and reward that take 25 off your health, but you got the speed boost. You got all this cool stuff. And it was very overwhelming to see a guy with an alien come at you and just start going crazy. And I love that. I thought that was super sick. Gugamon's in it, and I love Super Plastic. I don't like the NFT shit they do, but Gugamon himself is super cool. So overall, yeah, the season was great. It was really good. I love the UFO. I love the Prop-O-Matic. I love the gravity gun. Rick Sanchez was okay. I don't really get why he was there. I mean, I do with aliens, but still, the season was just awesome. The music was cool. The live event was, I know I'm not supposed to be rating the live events, but live event was one of, I think it's my favorite of all time. Kevin the Cube returning, and Kevin the Cube kind of sucked in this season. I'm still gonna put it cool. I don't feel like it deserves to be with these two. I don't know, Carnage was cool. It just, to me, the season again felt with the same issue of season 5, with like the weird sandy ground and like just this weird texture throughout the map. And I think it's because I was on last gen. I think that's why. But it just felt very unpolished. The themes and aesthetics were really cool, but I felt like it fell flat. It didn't deliver again, which I know I'm just bashing on this game, but I do love it. But I have to look at this from a critical standpoint, and I just didn't play the season again very much. It just felt like a grind season, and I think that's because most people just wanted Carnage, and I feel like that's why Carnage was just thrown in there, because I think they knew a lot of people weren't gonna like this season. But the live event, I do feel like carried it. I feel like the live event did carry it, but again, I have to rate it just purely from a season standpoint. It was fun. It was fun. I had a lot of fun on the season, but just coming from season 7 to season 8 just felt like a big drag. And to end things off, we got the start of chapter 3, which this season has ended, so I'm pretty comfortable with rating it, and I just gotta be honest, it was good. It was really good. I gotta put it in front of Season 8. It was good. The Spider-Man stuff just carried the whole season, though. It was so fun to swing around on those web shooters, and I'm very, very, like, pretty bummed out that they're gone now. But yeah, this season was awesome. The new map felt so much better. The snow covering the map when it started was so fun, and it melted away. The Christmas thing again was so fun. They did very well. I mean, you got free stuff. I mean, what more could you ask? I feel like the free skins they gave were trash, but hey, they're free. I mean, what can you do? And the rest of the season was really good. And The Rock was in it, the Foundation. Super sick for story-wise. It answered a lot of questions, and I just felt like this season overall was very polished. The sliding mechanic added just a lot to the gameplay, and it freshened things up very well. And just, yeah, I can't wait to see where the game goes from here. The map's great. It's just a much better layout than the last map, and I'm looking very, very forward to the rest of what this game has. And I think they're going to do a good job. They got a good layout going, and I hope they keep it up. But anyway, that's it. That's where I rank all the seasons. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want to see more editing in this type of video, or if you want it to keep laid back like this, I'm perfectly chill with that. But yeah, have a good one, guys, and let me know if you liked it.